Hi, my name is Elizabeth Chen, and I am a social worker and I work at Nationwide Children's Hospital, but I hang out a lot of times at ACBA. And I'm here today to talk to you guys about stress. The term stress has lost like all logical meaning. Everything is considered stressful nowadays, especially in our current political, social, and health climate. But what really is stress? In a biological sense, stress is a biological response experienced when encountering a threat that we don't feel like we have the resources to deal with. And we inherited this adaptive response from our ancestors as a survival mechanism against hostile predators and environments that they didn't have the ability to cope with and deal with. To ensure then our evolutionary survival, humans developed basically a really strong automatic stress response to any actual or perceived threat. That perceived part is super important for us now. So even though you won't actually die from your biology test or from speaking in public, your nervous system still perceives it as a threat to you that you potentially don't have the resources to deal with and activates that automatic stress response. Now, two parts of our body are responsible for that stress response. The first one is called the sympathetic nervous system, which thinks that we can survive any and all threats by doing one of three things: fighting, flying away, or freezing. And that part of our nervous system lives in our brainstem. Now, this is an automatic nervous system, so it's always on and it's always ready to handle a threat and ensure our survival, even if we're just sitting in class getting ready for a speech. Now, the second part is the vagus nerve, which wanders all throughout of our body, connecting major organs to our brain. The vagus nerve carries messages from the sympathetic nervous system to our organs with commands that'll help us survive threats, again, real or imagined. So let's think about our brain. Now, I can't show you my brain, right? Because it's locked inside my skull. So let's imagine that our brain is instead right here, right? So this part of our brain, my fist and my wrist, that's a thing called our brainstem. Our sympathetic nervous system lives here in the brainstem and the limbic system, along with the parasympathetic system. And that's the system that's responsible for things like digesting our food, resting, but also for building social relationships and bonding. Now, wrapped all around this is the cerebral cortex, which does stuff like solving problems, being creative, and basically everything else. Now, the problem is that when the sympathetic nervous system down here is activated by a stressor, then the parasympathetic nervous system, that's resting and social stuff, and the cerebral cortex up here, that's problem solving and creating, can't work because that fight, flight, and freeze response is activated. And well, your brain cares if you live first more than anything else. So what? Why do we care? We're learning about this stuff this week because these systems, fight, flight, and freeze, and how we manage stressors so that we can activate our parasympathetic nervous system, that's that resting and bonding stuff, and our cerebral cortex, that's the problem solving and creating stuff, to make sure that we can improve all other aspects of our life.